This clip is about using PostgreSQL in Debian 6. In a different video we showed the installation of PostgreSQL 8.4 and pgadmin 3 in Debian 6.0.5. Some users have experienced difficulty with passwords in PostgreSQL. Here is an example. The database program has been installed and we want to view the default database using the pgadmin 3 tool. So we open pg3admin by clicking on the launcher at the top of the panel here in Debian. And when we click on the Postgres database, we get an error. And we may not know what to do next. Let's close this down for a moment. So that was the error we got, the error message. There is a way forward. As root we open a file called pg_hba.conf and we can use the gedit text editor for that. So if we copy this command, since we've got this in a text editor here, if we copy that and put it into a root terminal, or root console as it's sometimes called, we log in SU for superuser, put in the root password, and we copy our command in, and it will open the file in gedit, the GNOME editor. If we scroll down to the bottom we can see some MD5 entries. Now MD5 is a one-way hash which it applies to passwords. So it hashes it, but it can't be undone. You can't take a hash and find out what the password was. It is one way. But we delete the MD5 entries at the bottom of the file and we put in trust instead, just as a way forward to get out of this password problem. Save the file, of course. We can save it as something to ensure we get the right one, or we can just simply click save and it will probably save it anyway. I'm going to clear this console for a moment. So we've done that and we've changed the MD5 entries to trust and we've saved the file. Because we've made changes to that file, we have to restart the PostgreSQL database server, otherwise it won't acknowledge the change. So we copy this command into our root console, and that should reload. It says it's reloading blah blah blah, and that should be done. Now we can try our pgadmin 3 again. So we go to our icon, our launcher, wait for a moment for that to open, click on our database, and now that's let us in. We can see we've got one default database and we've got one login role on one server. That seems to be better. And we can do other things here. We can create a new user and a new database. So in the terminal emulator we log in as root. We've actually already done that. We're still logged in as root in this one. But we can now log into Postgres. So su space dash space Postgres, and it takes us into the Postgres database. And we can see we've got a dollar symbol there as the prompt. And we can type in create db space, we'll call this one Baker because this is the user that's using this program at the moment, the user's name Baker, or we can just paste that in as we've done here, and we can create a user. They can be done in any order. We can create the user first and then the database, it doesn't really matter. So here we said create user and it's asked us for the name of the role to add, so we'll type in Baker. And when we enter that, it's asking, shall the new role be a super user? We'll put in yes. It depends on the circumstances, but we'll put in yes just for the illustration. And it goes back to our prompt. Now we can log in as the super user in PostgreSQL. Put in PSQL as a shortcut, and it gives us the version number, and it says type H, or help for help. We can see the hash symbol there at the prompt, which is showing us we're a super user within PostgreSQL. And we can copy this command, or to use a Baker with encrypted password. We'll use Baker for the password as well for simplicity. Type that in, and it responds with alter role in uppercase letters. Now we can copy this one. We're already at the Postgres prompt, so grant all privileges on database Baker to Baker. And we notice those lines have got a semicolon at the end, which we're allowed to put in against the PSQL prompts. Okay, so that's done. We should have a new database and a new user with a password. If we go back to our pgadmin 3, we can refresh that, and we can see we've got two databases now. We've got a database called Baker and a database called Postgres. That's just a screen that comes up unless we tell it not to show again. Refresh it again and it pops up. But we've only got one login role, because I think we need to restart pgadmin to deal with that. So let's go back to there, restart it, click on the Postgres, and now we've got two login roles, Baker and Postgres, and we've got two databases, Baker and Postgres. Down here in the SQL window, the SQL window, we can see some coding. If we go into the Baker one, we can see the encrypted password. That's the hash that was made by MD5 when we asked it to put in an encrypted password. So that was something, a way to get around the password issue and allow users to get in. There are other ways to do this. This isn't the only way or necessarily the best way, but it is a way, and we hope it's helped somebody.